מצטרף אלינו ג'ונתן פולארד. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure.
Let me get straight to the point. How was your meeting with the U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee? What did you two discuss?
I had originally requested the interview for a very personal reason. I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for all the efforts that he had expended on my behalf when I was in prison. And I also wanted to thank him for the kindness and the generosity that he demonstrated towards my wife, Esther, Alea Shalom. So this meeting, while we discussed other things, I think you could consider them pleasantries. Whoever inside the embassy told someone back in Washington, and I have my idea of who that might be, about this meeting, clearly didn't know what the subject of the meeting was. They just knew that a meeting had occurred. I think it's also equally clear that the New York Times story was part or is part of an effort to discredit the ambassador and have him removed. And I think the people behind this are anti-Israel elements within the Trump administration. The neo-isolationists, the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes people, and others, perhaps pro-Saudi, pro-Qatari elements within the administration that would like to see a person like Ambassador Huckabee sent home.
That's interesting. We'll get to the story of Saudi and Qatar later on. I assume you feel a sense of gratitude, hakarat hatov, towards Huckabee, who advocated for your release, but the fact remains the meeting did not appear on the official schedule, and U.S. officials were reportedly caught off guard by it. They were really surprised.
The meeting itself was a personal meeting, and I can't believe that every meeting that the ambassador has to go through channels and has to be pre-approved. I'm not aware of that fact. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not just anybody. I realize this. But the only thing I can say at this point was that it was a personal meeting to express those things that I just mentioned.
And did you initiate the meeting, or did they reach out to you? Who was the one reaching out to the other?
I had actually asked to see the ambassador because I thought it was time for me to thank him.
Yeah, so I honestly can't imagine what went through your mind when you received an invitation from an official representative of the same country that imprisoned you for 30 years under extremely harsh conditions, as you told us in an exclusive interview. How did you feel?
A lot of people seem to think that I harbor an anger towards the United States, which I don't. There were specific people that lied about me, that lied about Israel, that tried to use me as a weapon to undermine the U.S.-Israel special relationship. And those are the people that I have problems with. But certainly people like Ambassador Huckabee and others, I have absolutely no problem talking to in whatever venue the discussions might occur. I honestly never thought for a moment that this kind of meeting that I had would be used by elements within the embassy, the U.S. embassy, and within the Trump administration as a weapon designed to have the ambassador embarrassed and subsequently removed.
Do you think that this meeting created complications for Ambassador Huckabee? After all, it runs directly counter to official U.S. policy. It doesn't matter if it's a friendly meeting to thank him or not.
Well, I'll tell you something. American representatives of the Trump administration in particular, people like Jared Kushner and people like Steve Witkoff, that you know me very well. I am pretty straightforward in my opinions of things. I despise them.
How come?
And for people like that to carry on with terrorists who have murdered our people and who have organized efforts to discredit Israel.
In order to bring back the hostages, of course.
I find abhorrent. But that isn't a problem for certain people. You know, Steve Witkoff can meet with the people that ordered our people to be butchered on October 7th. And nobody seems to think that's a problem because, well, he's working on peace, right?
Right.
No, he's working on his bank account.
Oh, wow.
So for me to come along, I've done my time. I've been punished. 30 years is a long time. The fact that I didn't really cooperate with the authorities at the time who wanted to use me as a weapon against Israel, I think is still a problem for certain elements within the American intelligence community. And if I could guess, I would say it's that community, particularly the CIA station in the embassy, that probably was the one that initiated this whole effort to discredit the ambassador. It's just my opinion.
You mentioned Kushner and Witkoff. They did everything in their power to get the hostages back home. A thing that we all wanted and prayed for so long.
They did everything in their power to prevent us from winning in Gaza. They are representatives not of the United States, but of Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and secondarily, Turkey as well. I don't consider what they did for our hostages to be an act of altruism in any way, shape, or form. People have to understand that just because somebody appears to be a friend of ours doesn't make him so.
Right. In fact, it's a whole different discussion that I don't want to open right now, but I do want to say that we are very, very happy that the hostages are back home. But I want to hear, in our previous conversation, you really criticized President Trump's approach towards Israel. Do you still feel that way even after the hostages
Correct.
were returned? It sounds like it's a yes from what you're saying. Something that happened, I think, largely thanks to President Trump, of course.
No, it's not a question in this case of hakarat hatov. If immediately after the living hostages were released, we unleashed, as he said, hell on Hamas and finished them off, I would have said that everything that had led up to that point, in terms of negotiating and discussions to secure the release of the hostages, would have been worthwhile. But right now, the 21-point peace plan that the president has imposed on us undermines our independence and threatens the security of our country.
Jonathan Pollard, thank you for this interview. And I'll say this, every time we speak, the people of Israel, Am Yisrael, will never forget the sacrifice you made, a sacrifice that saved many, many lives. Thank you so much for this interview again.